9440. 4405. 9440 405.
All right, welcome back, crime fighters, for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help make Calhoun County better and safer by helping us lock up some of the bad guys. I'm Chris Wright, along with Calhoun County Sheriff Matthew Wade. Good to see you again, Sheriff.
It's always good to be on the show, Chris.
For over 16 years now.
You know, time flies when you're having fun. It seems like I'm not about 16 itself. You don't know how I've been doing this for so long. So.
Of course, you haven't been sheriff that entire time, but you've been involved with it.
Been at the sheriff's office and in law enforcement for 24 years, going on 25.
All right. Of course, we couldn't do this show without the viewers and the help that they send back to us.
Absolutely. You know, every week you help us. I predicted it as so that the numbers would go up when some of the restrictions were taken off, and here it is, 7 arrests, 4,560 people put in jail, all because somebody was willing to help us. Thank you for that, and we appreciate your help. We cannot do it alone.
So we've got more people being brought into the jail now, right? The numbers are starting to move back upwards.
It has. You know, the restrictions come off. The first order come off April the 30th at 5 p.m. Saturday morning I looked, we had about 400 total people in jail. I looked this morning, it's around 425, 430. So that's a pretty big swing.
Is all of that behavior related, or is some of that procedures of the courts and that kind of thing too?
You know, it's probably a little bit of both. You know, courts have been slow. They've been, you know, operating. They can't just shut courts down. Believe it or not, they are essential. If somebody gets arrested, they have rights, and you have to follow those rights. The Constitution can't be thrown out the window because of this. But it has been a little slower. But you know, I assume things will be picking up. I could tell a marked difference Monday morning or even Friday afternoon and during the weekend of traffic. So I could tell there's a lot more traffic and more people out.
All right, we'll talk about how that's impacting Calhoun County and the sheriff's office and the jail and more when we come back. And we'll also have the first half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Hi, I'm Nancy Hilton with the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office. Many have now received the stimulus payments, but there are a few who have not. Scammers are now attempting to get their hands on that extra income that has already come or is awaiting distribution. You can avoid being ripped off by just remembering 4 tips. Number 1, use only the IRS website, irs.gov, to submit information. Never respond to a call, text, or email. Number 2, the IRS won't contact you by phone, email, text message, or social media with information about your payment. They won't ask for your Social Security number, bank account number, or other personal information. Number 3, you do not have to pay to get your stimulus money. Number 4, the IRS will not tell you to deposit your stimulus check and then have to take some back because they paid you too much. You can get more information by going to the website irs.gov or call me at the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office, 256-236-6600.
Scammers are taking advantage of the coronavirus outbreak. FTC tip number 5. Don't respond to calls, texts, or emails about money from the government. Anyone who tells you that they can get you the money now is a scammer. Visit ftc.gov/coronavirus and bbb.org/coronavirus to learn more.
All right, let's take a look at this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Starting off the list today, we've got Jesus Silva of Alexandria, wanted on probation violation for trafficking in cocaine. Richard Edmondson of Gadsden is wanted on a failure to appear warrant for possession of controlled substance. Mario Ramirez Argote of Anniston is wanted on a probation violation for trafficking cocaine. Joshua Taylor of Gadsden wanted on a failure to appear warrant for illegal possession of prescription drugs. Mary Moody of Oxford wanted on failure to appear warrants for fraudulent use of a credit card and passing bad checks. Andrew Denson of Atlanta wanted on probation revocation for possession of a forged instrument, 3rd degree. If you have any information about anybody in this lineup, please contact Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. All right, so we'll have the second half of this week's lineup here in just a few minutes. Sheriff, we're in the second period, I guess, of our reaction to COVID-19. We had the stay-at-home order there for about a month, and now we're into the safer at-home period. So how much have you seen things change over the last week?
You know, when this Friday at 5 o'clock that went off, we've seen a lot more traffic, more people going to work, which is a good thing, I guess. People are able to feed their families. So, it's a trade-off. You want people, we got to work. We've got to keep going as a country, not because of an economy, more that we got to survive. We got to eat. We've got to.
We don't all live on farms that are self-sustaining.
That's right. So we have to go to work. We have to do what's right. But we have this virus, and we have to protect ourselves from that. And I think it goes back, to using good common sense. You got to protect yourself the best you can. It's a virus. You might get it. There's no telling how you can get it. You can't see it. Yeah. But wash your hands. Try to stay away from people when you can. Don't shake hands. Wear gloves if you're at the gas pump or touching those keypads. I see people wearing masks and then they go to touch the keypads, and they might have sanitizer somewhere, but you just got to put a holistic approach to it. And one thing that I think that's being left out is just a good disinfectant. A cleaning of your home, your car, your office space, keeping your hands washed. So we got to do what we got to do, but we got to get back to work. So
speaking of the gas stations and those keypads, my hands were all over the keypads in Montgomery on Sunday. I'm going to confess to a crime.
All right.
I know that it's illegal to put gasoline into a non-approved container.
Well, you got to do what you got to do if you run out of gas. So did you run out of gas?
Ran out of gas. The trailer that we're hauling behind the Tahoe is sticking out in the middle of the road. There's a gas station right across the street, but they don't have gas cans to borrow or purchase in there. So I had to go up the street to a Dollar Tree and purchase a little half-gallon something for the kitchen, and so I had to go back and forth. I had to make 5 trips. It stopped accepting my credit card because I was making so many transactions at the pump. I had to change credit cards to get it filled back up enough to crank, but we finally got that done.
Sound like you did something I would do. I have those kind of issues, but these are tough times. And I've seen a lot of different comments, and I've seen things on social media. It breaks my heart to see people so rough with their fellow American, our fellow human being. People, on both sides of the spectrum attacking the other, and none of us asked for this, and we got to do our best to get through it, and we need to care about people. Mm-hmm. And everybody's got a different situation in their life, and everybody needs to make their own personal decisions of how they're going to handle this. So
we can make our statements when we go to vote.
We can. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, the sheriff's office is doing its best to serve the people. We've not changed anything we've done. Some of my employees were upset about that a little bit. Not many, maybe 1 or 2, but we didn't change anything we did because I thought it was very important that the citizens understand that their sheriff, their law enforcement agency that serves them, wasn't packing up, wasn't cutting services. That we were going to do whatever was necessary to protect and serve the citizens here. That's what we exist to serve. We don't, we're not, it's not about what's best for us, it's about what's best for the community. So we didn't change anything we did. We didn't close the office, we haven't done anything different, and we fared well with that. And we're going to continue to do that. So,
and of course things could still change, but I think it's very ironic that this is the year 2020, because everybody's going to have that 2020 vision of what happened in the past.
Yes.
And what we should have done. But making decisions in real time is not necessarily easy to do.
Well, it's not, hindsight's clear, always perfect. You can always look back and go, well, I should have done this, that, and other, because it's history. You can say, well, this has happened and I should have changed this. But when you don't know what's coming next, you got to do the best decision you can. And I think that ones with common sense, patience, as I say a lot at the office, is we need to handle this as Andy Griffith would. We need to have an Andy Griffith moment. We need to find a solution that's best for everybody, and remain calm and patient with people. There's a lot of talk going around. You see people trying to make a living, and people are upset with this. It's our job to be the voice of reason. It's our job to be the one that people can come to and know that we're going to make the right choice for everybody. And I'm trying my best to do that. So as the sheriff of Calhoun County, my job, I feel during this time, is to bring reason and calmness in a place where people know they can go to and somebody will help them.
And as of right now, we're still going as business as usual.
Business as usual, you know, and we can talk in the next segment as well, but the jail is still, we haven't had a case of COVID in the jail. Knock on wood, it's coming, you know, it's a virus, you know, we can't, but we're doing everything we can, and so far we've had no employees. Once again, I pray that doesn't happen to either, but we're doing the best we can, but it is a virus. They could get it from going to the gas pump or going anywhere, so, but we're doing the best we can.
All right. So far, so good, and keep up the diligence. We need to take a quick break. We will be back and talk some more about what's going on in Calhoun County and Alabama next, and we'll have the second half of this week's lineup as well on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, here we go with the second half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Antoine James of Anniston wanted for failure to pay for burglary, 3rd degree. Carl McDonald of Anniston wanted on a failure to appear warrant for assault, 3rd degree. David Kuhn of Anniston wanted on a failure to appear warrant for theft of property, 3rd degree. Kyle Millsaps of Anniston wanted on a failure to appear warrant for theft of property, 3rd degree. Richard Reeves of Atala wanted on a failure to appear warrant for false reporting to law enforcement. Sheila McLaughlin of Anniston wanted on a failure to appear warrant for possession of marijuana, 2nd degree. And Willie Curry of Anniston wanted for failure to pay for use and possession of drug paraphernalia. If you have information about anyone in this lineup, please call us at 256-238-1414. We want your information, not your name. All right, we'll have our crazy criminal of the week coming up in just a little bit. Also talk about several property crimes that we need your help solving. Right now, Sheriff, if you don't mind, let's talk about something that several sheriffs have been talking about, and that is the governor's orders about what we can and can't do, and whether or not a sheriff is going to enforce the orders from the governor.
Well, first, let me say there's been 2 sheriffs, and I believe the sheriff that come out and said it first got what he wanted, which was publicity. He was looking for some news time, in my opinion, and he got it. What people don't realize is there is 3 branches of our government, and it's set up 3 branches to protect us, so no one branch can become stronger than the other. The sheriff is part of the executive branch. The legislative branch makes laws. Now, as part of the executive branch, the governor has the ability to do some orders. So she did these orders, and some people are worried that it's unconstitutional or violating their constitutional rights. I have some of those same concerns, but there's ways to redress and address those problems through our 3 branches of government, because I've seen some people have tagged me in things that's nationwide where some law enforcement officers talking about something being unconstitutional. The only branch of government that can determine whether something's unconstitutional or not is the judicial branch. I have no authority or ability to say any law is unconstitutional. And as a matter of fact, every law that's passed is constitutional until proven unconstitutional in a court of law.
It would be unconstitutional for you to say it's unconstitutional.
That's right.
and not abide by it.
That's right. So the governor issued these orders. I have grave concerns about some of those, and I'm worried as a human being and a person. I like to think that I care about my rights, and I care about the other people's rights, and that's how I run my office. Is we're going to abide by the Constitution, and we're going to do what's right by people. Mm-hmm. So the governor issued these orders, and then now she's issued a safer at home orders, and I know people are upset because some of them can't go to work. Well, let me tell you about my month. My daughter got sick in February. She stayed sick a month. I thought she might have the coronavirus. We had to put her in a hospital for a month. She hasn't worked since February the 23rd. My wife's an RN. She got laid off first of April, or really about mid-March, 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. And she's a nurse, was laid off from RMC.
Because she does elective surgeries.
So she does elective surgeries. So during this time, a tree has fell, crushed 3 of my cars. I'm the only one working. So everybody's got a story about the coronavirus. And
You're not living
quarantine.
in a stress-free bubble.
No, and plus I'm running the sheriff's office during this time. We had a standoff. Somebody shot at 2 of my deputies and shot at us 4 more times. So I'm not saying that for sympathy. I'm just saying we have these problems. I have problems too, but we care about the constitutional rights of people. And in Calhoun County, we've not had a single bit of problems. I've had preachers call me. I've had religious associations call me. We've run everything the way that it's supposed to. If the problem comes up, as a sheriff, people want me to handle it in a way that's legal, with common sense, and in a way that they think is fair to all people. We do that, and we have done that. Just to make a statement that you're not going to follow a governor's order, well, I could be impeached, thrown out of office for not following an order issued by the governor. If it's unconstitutional, and these people feel that strongly about it, sue. They need to challenge that in court. But just to ask the sheriff to say that's unconstitutional, you need to say you're not going to do something. Well, that's how I violate my oath, because people will throw things at you like, you swore an oath. You swore an oath to protect the Constitution, and that's right, I did. And when a law is made in the proper way, until it's proven unconstitutional, I got to follow it. If I don't follow it, I'm breaking that oath. Just because one person thinks it's unconstitutional and demands that I break the law, that's not fair to me.
If you start making those decisions, then what's to stop one of your deputies from making his own decisions about what he wants to arrest somebody for or not?
Well, if people talk about the Founding Fathers, well, the Founding Fathers set up the 3 branches of government. So when we have these conflicts, it can be worked out in a reasonable civil way. So when you have any branch of government trying to say they're not going to listen to the other branch of government and defy our Constitution, you have bad problems.
That's when we got a constitutional crisis.
That's that constitutional crisis. Now, in Calhoun County, I think we're in very weird times. I've had people want me to throw preachers in jail for preaching, and people demand I let prisoners out of jail. So they want the criminals out of jail and the preachers in jail. So it's just strange, weird times, and people are just upset and concerned. Somebody has to be the voice of reason, and I'm trying to do that. We've stayed open. We've answered questions and concerns. We've not restricted services. There are a lot of personal choices that have to be made by each individual in this county of how they're going to protect themselves from this virus. As a government, we can give you guidelines, and I think they should be more of guidelines. But I do think us staying at home probably flattened that curve, which was designed to not overwhelm the hospitals. It wasn't to keep you from getting sick. It was to keep from people getting sick at alarming rates so we would be able to treat you. So with that being said, I think that worked. I think people need to get back to work. I think barber shops, you can tell by my hair, I need a haircut. I want them people to make a living, but I also want us to be as safe as possible, and I don't want to trample on anybody's rights. So that's where we're at with it.
Okay. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some property crimes that we need your help solving, and we will have our crazy criminal of the week, a young one, this week on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, let's talk about some property crimes that hopefully you can help us solve. Up first, between April 28th and April 29th, a Hustler Fast Track zero-turn mower was stolen from a location on Angel Drive in Jacksonville. It was later found in the woods at another location. Due to a flat tire, a 20-foot trailer was left near mile marker 181 eastbound on Interstate 20. Between April 30th and May 1st, the trailer was stolen, along with the 35G John Deere Mini X. On April 30th, a Troy-built zero-turn mower was stolen from a business located on Highway 21 South in Oxford. An unknown suspect was seen at the business about 3:45 a.m. On May 2nd, between 7 and 9:30 p.m., someone broke into a vehicle at a residence on Brutonville Road in Jacksonville. A leather computer bag containing an Apple MacBook Air was stolen. Between May 2nd and May 3rd, 6 Thermomaster windows, along with various hand and power tools, were taken from a utility trailer parked at a residence on Austin Road in Oxford. Between May 1st and May 3rd, a storage building located on Highway 431 was illegally entered. Stolen from the building were a burial flag and a wooden display case, a silver engraved Chinese-type ceremonial sword, and multiple boxed Barbie dolls. On May 3rd, a red and white Honda XR100R dirt bike was stolen from the location on Erica Lane in Alexandria. Between May 1st and May 4th, a gold 2000 Ford F-250 was stolen from a business located on Oak Grove Road in Gadsden. If you have information about any of these cases or other crimes committed in Calhoun County, please call 256-238-1414.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
All right, our crazy criminal today, Sheriff, maybe probably won't be charged as an adult. Only 5 years old.
Uh-oh.
This young man got upset with his mother because she refused to buy him this Lamborghini that he'd found online, I guess. It's for sale in California. So when mom was away, he grabbed the keys, got in the car, took off from Utah to California.
At 5 years old?
At 5 years old.
Wow.
He did not make it to California. Some folks there with the Utah State Patrol or whatever organization it is, they noticed him driving erratically at 30 miles an hour on the interstate, pulled him over, saw him sitting on the edge of his seat so he could reach the pedals, and he had $3 with him to go buy that Lamborghini.
Yeah, I can tell you what had happened at the Matthew Wade household. If I'd have done that with Big Jerry and Debbie, it would not have been good at all. Big Jerry would have took care of me, would have fixed me right up.
I bet.
Yeah.
All right, that's all the time that we've got for this week. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.